one of my most valuable staff members, somebody that I love so much, he's such an amazing guy and has been such a valuable team player, would not have been able to pass this particular video test. Okay, good. So have your applicants complete a skills test related to the job. And if you're impressed with the results, conduct an interview by phone, Zoom, or Skype. We use Zoom over here. You guys know all the webinars that you do are always on Zoom. So this is something that we're really familiar with. But whatever you feel comfortable when it comes to like a video platform, always get them on video. I know it says they're on phone, but you want to see these people on video. You want to see how they look, they communicate to you. You want to feel their energy. You want to feel their intention. And that can only be done really by a video conference. This allows you to get to know the candidate better personally, professionally, and discuss any potential next steps. So what AGM also does is request the candidates to send a short video showing us how they set up Facebook or Google Ads, samples of articles for copywriters, or a portfolio of creatives for designers. Now, again, when doing this, do not necessarily make them feel that their video is going to determine whether they get hired or not, because I have hired people, as you guys know, like if I ask, I'll ask something to Jonald. All right, Jonald, can you come in here for a second? Let me know if you can hear me talk. I want to ask you a question, all right? Because you're a great example of this. All right, I have Jonald here. Okay, as you guys know, I have we have 60 staff now. I think it's 58, something like that. We're growing really fast. Jonald is one of my most important staff. He's a rock star. He's my little brother. I flew him in here. We spent weeks together and we've traveled to different places together and we're really close. We work together every day. He's like my marketing sidekick, right? Whatever Robin was to Batman, that's what Jonald is to me. All right. That to give you guys an idea. And he knows that. He knows how valuable he is. I provide a lot of value to him. I help his life get better, and he provides a lot of value back to our organization. And we always have that flow back and forth, right? Now, Jono, here's a question to you. One of the most valuable AGM staff members, a marketing ninja that is out there building incredible things for incredible people, and somebody that is like a genius that I admire a lot. How would you have done a video if I want to get you started at AGM and I say, John, you got to submit a video? How do you think you would have done recording a video as a Google Ads expert or a Facebook expert or a managed ad expert? Tell me your opinion. What do you think?
I actually don't have any idea how to do the video, because before I started with AGM, I actually didn't know that there's managed ad and there's business manager.
Imagine that. He didn't even know. He knows that you could post things on Facebook. You know, he understood that Facebook was a social media platform, but I want to give you that idea as an example. All right. One of my most valuable staff members, somebody that I love so much. He's such an amazing guy and has been such a valuable team player, would not have been able to pass this particular video test. So make sure that when you're asking for that, you let them know, hey, just so you know, if you have some skills, I would like to see that on a video, but this is not mandatory. I understand that this is a whole new world, and sometimes you're looking for training and opportunity. I simply believed in John, and it wasn't even me. Somebody from my organization hired him. I think it was Jorge back then. And then he started learning and he started picking up fast the whole thing. And that's what you want to find. You want to find an intention. You want to find somebody that has the willingness to learn, the dedication to learn. They have that fire burning. You can talk to them and you can feel their honesty, their sincerity, their desire to be a part of something special. You don't care about how they do Facebook ads right now. Why? Because they're probably not going to know how to do that, guys. They're probably not going to know how to do it well. If you do something like that, you're going to miss out on some gold out there, like I found with Jonald. That's the reality. I have another one. You guys know one of my top copywriters. You've heard about her. She was a big part of my Catapult program for Amazon sellers. And she's a genius. And her name is Jules. She's really good at managed ad right now. How much did she know about managed ad when she came in here? Zero. She didn't know anything about it. So to give you an idea, right, you got to be willing. I can tell you that some of my best staff members had no idea about the subjects that they're really good at today. So you got to be willing to bring them in and test them and give them a few days, sometimes even a week, for them to get some skills and start showing you what they've learned along the way. That's what you need to do as an actual human resources individual. Give people opportunities. Don't judge them by their existing skills right now, because otherwise you're going to be disappointed and you're probably going to miss out on great talent out there that is dying to find a great opportunity for them to flourish and grow as part of a good organization of people. So you can ask for that. I mean, particularly, I would tell you that there are areas where you want to find some evidence of experience. For example, graphic designers, video editors. Why? Well, because I don't have a course on training video editors. I am not an expert in that field. And because of that, I am looking for an expert in that field. So it really depends. Are you looking for a Facebook ads expert? Well, don't worry about that. You can train them yourself because you're a Facebook master. Are you looking for a content manager? Somebody that's going to record videos and maybe they're going to edit videos and do graphic images. You might want to look for somebody that has some experience in that subject. They still will get better along the way, but you want to look for that experience because you're not going to be able to give them the tools for them to improve that area. Are you looking for somebody to manage community? They need to have some good communication skills. That's all. They need to have some good English, know how to communicate, know how to answer people's comments and concerns, and care enough about the individual that they want to make sure that they respond to comments fast and effectively. And that's the main difference between all of these areas, right? Like, for example, if you're an Amazon seller and you're trying to find somebody to become an expert on PPC, the question whether you need somebody trained or you can train yourself depends on, do you have access to tools to get them trained? If you don't have access to tools, then you're going to need to find somebody trained. If you have access to tools, don't worry about it. Sense the person, feel them, try to recognize their potential just by a conversation and feel their communication, and then give them a chance to learn with your tools for that particular area. Okay, so get your team involved in the interview process. Make sure different members of your team at all levels have chance to meet and interview candidates. Getting buy-in from the people who will be working with that candidate day in and day out is critical and will help you make the best decision. For example, I have Jorge, right? He's the chief marketing officer. He's in charge of all the accounts. If an account manager or if an ad manager is not good for his organization, I need to make sure that he feels comfortable with that person. So I let him do interviews too, so he can actually feel comfortable with bringing that person in. So you got to get the person involved. Depending on the size of your organization, that could be you, or it could be somebody that you know that person needs to manage. Like in the example of Rain. Rain is my customer service manager. I would not put somebody in the organization if Rain is not comfortable with that person. Why? Because she's the head of the department. So if my head of the department is not comfortable with a person, they are out. Why? Because my most important terminal in that department is the person that is in charge of that department. And I need to make sure that that person is getting exactly the help that they need to be able to do their job correctly. If a person doesn't help or is making the things more difficult, then we get them out. We had a situation, I think 2 years ago, in which we had a great video editing team, but there was a person, some of you guys might have come in that era, the first time that I launched the Facebook Masters ever, which was about 2.5 years ago now. There was a person in the team who was not really matching with the rest of the organization. We actually got him into another department and he did great over there. And he was just fine. With that particular group of people, he was not able to do a good job. So you got to make sure that you manage your organization to make sure you put people in the right place so they can thrive and not affect the rest of the group. Your team can shed light on how candidates might fit in with the company culture and their ability to thrive in the ebb and flow of daily operations. Your team will also be able to point out any inconsistencies that may pop up during the interview process. AGM's practice is to have the candidate be interviewed by our international HR director and give the department's head a copy of the applicant's resume and recording, if applicable, so the individual team leaders can review and provide feedback for the applicant. So, for example, if somebody submits a video on the subject of the Facebook Business Manager, then we have the Chief Marketing Officer look at it and tell us his thoughts on how this person performs the task inside the Business Manager and give us a final green light along the way. So you can create a standby list of all candidates. For example, let me go back here for a second. Always be closing is burning to the memory of every salesperson, right? So we want to continuously have these people, continuously close people when they're on board on the sales department. When building a company of A-list talent, business leaders should always be recruiting. You never know when a key team member will leave the company or when you will need to hire new talent to satisfy growth opportunities. Based on the company's organizational chart and hiring roadmap, leaders can build a roster of candidates to contact with when the need arises. All right. So I have this philosophy in place. I know that people come and go. Generally, more of them stay than go. And that's how I've been able to grow a very solid group of people like Rain. I don't know how long she's been with me already. It's been several years. Jonathan, several years. Jorge, Ernesto. I got on the Philippines, I got Jet, I got a good solid 15 staff or 20 staff that have been with me for more than a year or maybe 2 years already. So you want to build an organization of people that stick around, but people do come and go. Sometimes people get ideas that they can go and do their things on their own, and you want to support that. And you can say, thank you very much. So you have to have a replacement come in right away so they can continue the operations as if nothing ever happened. So our HR team has a separate email list of applicants per department. This makes it much easier for us to contact an applicant to join our team when the need for a new member arises. So you have that standby list, right? So you put your people first every time. That's what I was talking to you guys about. Even if you got a perfect, fail-safe hiring process in place, it's not going to do you any good if you can't retain your top talent. You'll find yourself returning to zero, losing institutional knowledge, and gaining a reputation as a place where employees don't stay. And that can be very expensive, right? You want to keep people on board, happy, winning, doing great. So stay focused on culture, get to know your team members personally, invest time in making sure they are challenged, recognized for their achievements through public and private praise, as well as compensation, and that they are given room and an environment to do their best work.